Welcome to Lesson 5 of the Turtle Graphics video tutorial series. In this lesson, you will learn how to use the random number module to create random numbers and learn how to make a list of colours and select a random colour from that list. Let's begin. We will start by making our basic program. First, we need to import the turtle module so we have access to the turtle commands. Next, I will set the speed of the turtle to 10. Turtle speed 1 is the lowest, by the way. Now I will add my variables. First, we have sides, which stores how many sides our shape will have. Next is distance, which stores the length of our line the turtle draws. Then we have angle, which calculates the angle which our turtle needs to turn based on dividing the degrees in a circle, 360, by the number of sides. Finally, we have a variable called circles, which is the number of times to repeat the drawing of a shape. Now we have the variables in place, let's add the code for our basic shape. I use the for loop as introduced in Lesson 4's video. It will repeat the code written within the loop the same number of times as I have sides, so I write sides into the range brackets. I then move the turtle forward the same length as the value stored in the variable distance, and I turn the turtle the angle stored in the variable angle. With the basic shape created, I now need to repeat the drawing of this shape the same number of times as I have specified in my circles variable. I use another loop, this time adding the variable name circles in the range command. As we already have the code for the basic shape written, I just need to put it into the new loop by indenting it, which I can do by highlighting the code and selecting indent region from the format menu. Now let's see what happens when we run the code. As you can see, the square is repeated 10 times, but you can't tell that it's drawn anything more because it's done it on top of the previous one. So, to solve this problem, all we need to do is add a command called distance equals distance plus 10. And what this does is it reads the existing value of distance, adds 10 to it, and then writes this new value back to itself. The next time it runs, the line will be longer after each iteration. Now let's examine the random commands. Like turtle, random is a module, or another Python program if you like, which needs to be imported into our current program in order for us to use the commands. We do this by typing import random at the top of our program. Always import files at the top of your program so the commands are usable throughout. Now we will use the first of our random commands to randomly select the number of sides our shape has. I do this by typing random.randint, and in the brackets I enter two numbers separated by a comma. The first number is the lowest number of sides that will be selected, in this case 3, which would make a triangle. The number 10 is the maximum number of sides that might be selected. But you will never get a 10-sided shape. Python goes up to, but does not include 10, so the most sides you will get in a shape will be 9. Whilst I have been explaining this, I have been running the program to demonstrate that nearly each time we run the program, we get a randomly generated shape. Now let's create a list of colours. I am going to use the variable pen colour to make it obvious what we are using this list for. In order to store a list, we use the square brackets to tell Python where the list begins and where it ends. This will be a list of strings, or words if you prefer. I like to set up the list first, ensuring I have pairs of speech marks separated by commas. Then I enter the colours that I wish to use. Now I need to set the pen colour. To begin with, I will make each new shape a random colour. I add the turtle.penColor command. Inside the brackets, I will show you how to select an individual colour from the list we set up. To do this, I write the name of the variable, pen colour, which contains the list. Then, in square brackets, I write a number. The number 0 is the first item in the list. So when I run the program, I should get a shape with red lines. Which I do. So, if I want to change this, I can change the number in the square brackets to 1 to indicate orange. And if I run it again, you will see this. And then if I want to change it to the other colours, I'll use the number 2 for green and the number 3 for blue. This uses something called indexing. So even though red is the first position or the first item in the list, it's in index position 0. This is something you'll have to try and remember going forward. So, how do we select a random index position from the list? There are several ways to do this, but the way I will show you now uses the randrange command. In the square brackets, I enter the command random.randrange. In the brackets, I enter the starting index position, 0, and the last index position, +1. Remember, Python goes up to the final number but does not include it, which means if I entered 3, I would never get a blue shape. So let's see what happens when we run this, and as you can see, it's randomizing the colour of each shape which is being drawn now. Finally, the positioning of the pen colour command is important. Where it is presently, in the loop to repeat the drawing of a full shape, each line of the new shape will be the same colour. If we cut the pen colour and paste it into the loop to draw each line of the shape, we get a different colour line each time the loop repeats. Have a play with this. Now let's have a look at today's challenges. Your first task is to try and create a simple square with 4 randomly coloured lines. Each time you run the program, the line colours on your square will be different. Pause the video now and attempt this before looking at the solution. Here is the solution to challenge 1. The key to this solution is ensuring that you've put the turtle.penColor line inside of the actual loop itself. Right, let's move on to challenge 2. In challenge 2, I would like you to modify your program from challenge 1 so that you're creating a repeating circular pattern made up of squares. This time, each individual square should be a different colour. Pause the video now and attempt the solution. Here is the solution to challenge 2. Take some time to read through it and get a thorough understanding of what is going on. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.